At BTM, our workgroup members represent people from the learning disability, autism, mental health and deaf communities in the development of accessible resources, such as videos and printed materials. The Hear Our Voice project workgroup members have created this series of films so that people from their communities can better understand the projects and organisations available within the local area.
Could you please give us a brief overview of what the Samaritans do?
So the Samaritans give emotional support to people who are in distress or feeling suicidal, and a place where they can talk about anything that's troubling them.
Can you explain what the charity name means?
So it's interesting, when the charity was set up, which was in 1953, they weren't called the Samaritans. They were set up by a man who recognised that people, needed somebody to talk to. And he regarded it as a 999 service for people who were feeling suicidal. And a month after he'd set it up, in December 1953, there was a headline in the Daily Mirror that said, telephone Good Samaritan. And that's how the name arose, because people started to call us Samaritans, and that's how we adopted our name. But we never kind of chose it in that way.
We like your ethos of no judgment, which goes for service users and volunteer call handlers. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Being non-judgmental is really empowering. I think both for the person who's calling, but for us as people who are taking the calls, because we're not required to judge or give advice. We're just there to listen to somebody and give them somewhere to talk. And people aren't naturally non-judgmental. We're all judging in our heads, I think. It's part of how our brain works. So we're trained. We have to be trained not to be judgmental. But I can say, as a listening volunteer, being non-judgmental allows me and gives me permission to hear anything and learn from our callers. And I think it also allows our callers to have the freedom to say whatever is worrying them.
What makes the charity unique?
Well, there's lots of things. I think the really unique things are, firstly, that we're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So people can call us literally in the middle of the night. But the other thing that we're unique about is that we don't tell people what to do. We're not there to judge them, to tell them what to do. And we believe in their right to choose whatever they want to do, even if that's to take their own life. But we hope that through talking to us, they will recognise that they've got other options, because we want fewer people to die by suicide.
What does the charity mean to you personally?
I saw this question and I thought it was very, very interesting. My normal answer is twofold, really. One is that I don't think anybody should be alone when they're feeling in distress. And the second is that I'm quite curious about people. I'm interested in people. I like people. And I want to help them if I can. I thought about this question and I thought, actually, I'm going to tell you something else, which is, I've had moments in my life when I've not been okay. And I think now I'm lucky enough to be in a time in my life when I am okay. I'd like to be there for other people.
How can people contact you if they need support?
So we're on 116 123, which is our telephone number. It's a funny telephone number, isn't it? but it doesn't show up on your bill. It's free phone. So that's the phone, 116-123. We're available on email by emailing Jo at samaritans.org. We're available for our online chat pilot, which is in the evenings 6 days a week. And there you go to our website and you'll see that there's a chat option. And there's also a free post letter writing service for people to write to us.
We have seen that you do outreach in the community. Can you tell us about who you work with and what you do?
So our outreach is very varied across the country. We go in, as I said, we go into prisons. We train prisoners to listen to other prisoners. We go into schools and talk about emotional health. We go into businesses. So last year I went into a number of Bradford businesses to talk about what we do and raise awareness. We also have gone and talked to charities about how you can talk to people who are feeling suicidal. We also work with Network Rail, with all of their staff, to teach them about how you talk to somebody if you see that they're experiencing distress. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We're at festivals, we're everywhere we can be, where people are likely to need to talk to us.
What are your current and future plans to support people in the local area?
This is a great question. I'm so glad you've asked it, because it's about this part of Bradford Samaritans that makes us local. So, you know, we're always trying to get into places to talk to communities about what we do and to make sure that communities across Bradford know that we're there for them. We're not just for one group of people. We're growing. We've just restarted in 2021, so we're quite small at the moment, within the Bradford branch, of course, not the whole of Samaritans. So we're growing, and my vision for Bradford is that if something were to happen in Bradford, we can very much be there for the people of Bradford in times of need, as well as being on duty in our branch on the phone.
Do you do home visits or appointments?
We don't do home visits. What we can do is we can phone people by referral. If, say, a family member is very worried about somebody, they can call 116-123 and ask that we proactively call their family member or friend. What we would say is that it's really, really important that that family member or friend is aware that we're going to call. You know, calling out of the blue is, it's not a good thing. Or we'd always just suggest, give our card to somebody, give one of our pens with our number on, and let people know that we're there for everybody.
Do you have a follow-up service after supporting someone in a crisis?
So we can offer a further call to somebody who's had, where we might know that there's a big event happening. Somebody might have rung because they're going to get a diagnosis, and they've told us during the course of the call that they're getting a result on, the next Wednesday or whatever. And in that situation, we can say, would you like us to phone you that evening after you get that? But obviously, a lot of the time, if people can call us, we welcome them calling us again, many times.
Do you refer people to other organisations or health support services?
We have what we call a signposting list. So we don't give advice. So I would never tell a caller, you need to go and do this. But if during the conversation the caller says, I feel ready to take some action, but I don't really know where to go, we might say, well, I've got this signposting list. Can I give you the number of Mind, or, another place where they can take action and get help, practical help, because we're for people while they're processing their emotional needs for help.
If you want to get involved, who do you get in touch with?
When we restarted Bradford, one of the things that was really, really important to us was making ourselves disability friendly. There's no real difference between anybody when it's can you feel compassion and listen to another person. I mean, not everybody can do that, but it isn't confined to one particular group of people. So we're in a very disability friendly office. We actively welcome people of all groups. And we see it as our responsibility to support and enable people to get to the chair to be able to listen to people. Because after that, it's down to them. They're the person who brings their skills and abilities to the call. So we really actively seek to make sure that in our environment, nobody feels other. Because we recognise that everybody's different, but nobody wants to feel different. So, we're trying to make our volunteering as inclusive as we can, provided people are able to hear on the phone and have those skills of compassion, non-judgmentalness, and won't tell people what to do.